like about Mercedes interiors, and by the way, my aunt makes sure she got the heated and the cooled seats, but I like the, what is it called? The ambient lighting. And that's like my favorite part of these cars. Now, my Cadillac's going to have ambient lighting too. But I think Mercedes did a really, really good job with the way they do it. So, good looking car. Very good looking car, you know. I would buy one of these, but I don't want a gas car. I want it to have electricity. So the only real option you have is to get the, what is it called? The Mercedes EQS SUV, which I did the video on. So this is definitely would fit my needs, but there's no way in fucking hell I'm going to pay Mercedes over sticker for anything. And then I'm going to get my Cadillac first, see how I like that. Here I am coming out of Walmart, and this person in front of me has an EQS 580. I did a little review about that EQS SUV. I think that's actually the best product that they've got going right now, but I think it's so amazing how quickly BMW and Mercedes got their electric products out, and it's still taking Cadillac and GM all this time to get the Chevy EV and the Silverado EV. It's taking them so much time to get the Lyric and all this out. It's like, why is it taking so long? Meanwhile, Mercedes, BMW, they're building this shit overseas and shipping it here, and they got all this stuff online quick. It's amazing. But see, that's the future right there. No matter how you feel about it, nobody cares how your ego can't deal with the fact that we're going electric. Nobody cares about your ego. Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep my gas guzzling in V8. Yeah, right up until that piece of shit breaks down and you can't get fucking parts for it. But the reality is, the entire country, all of Europe, all of us are going electric, whether you like it or not. And that's just the reality. So my thing is, I want to get a head start. I want to catch that tax credit, $7,500 tax credit. I want to catch that shit, do a business, get that tax credit under, this way I'll get some, like $7,500 back. So however I have to buy it to get that tax credit, I want it. I just want it. I just wish they hurry the hell up. Yeah, that is the EQS SUV. I actually like that more than my aunt's GLE. You know, because it's electric. I mean, her car has just got like a V6 or something. It's like a twin turbo V6, but it's like, I just don't want no more gas. I want my electric car. Electric is cool. It's like charging your cell phone. Oh shit, this guy's flying. Look at this guy. This guy's flying in that thing. Yeah, see all that effortless acceleration. And see, my thing, gas is low right now. This person, all they got to do is go home and just charge that bastard. Meanwhile, I'm running out of fucking gas. I got to go get gas right now. How about that? And they got the EQS SUV. See, that's why I need my fucking Cadillac. What the fuck is going on? I want my goddamn Cadillac. See, there's a Cadillac right there, but that's only an XT6. I want my fucking Cadillac, and I want it now. What's going on with these people? Got everybody electric Mercedes and shit, and I got this fucking gas car. It's like, what the hell's going on, man? It's like, y'all supposed to have my shit ready for me like a month ago. Let's go. What's going on here? It's ridiculous. So here's the story. Market watch. I'm paycheck to paycheck. I make $350,000 a year, but have $88,000 in student loans, $170,000 in car loans. Excuse me, let me just stop right there. Hold on, because you know I like to divert when I have to. What fucking car are you driving? Or what combination of cars are you driving where you have $170,000 in car loans and you're complaining about living paycheck to paycheck? You're complaining about $88,000 in student loans, but you've got $170,000 in car loans. So let me get this straight. Well, what did you do? As soon as you graduated college, you were like, what kind of car should I buy? Oh, you know what? I don't like that Toyota Camry. I don't like that Honda Accord. Those are much too plebeian for me. I think I'm just going to go out and buy, a Mercedes Maybach. Yeah. Perfect. I'm going to get a Mercedes Maybach, or I'm going to get an Alpina B7, and I'm going to drive around in that while I'm not paying my student loans. Are you kidding me? Really? You have the nerve to put this bullshit story up here? You got making $350 a year, and you got 170 in car loans. You can't pay back 88,000 in student loans. Are you kidding me? Anyway, I got a mortgage. I have to pay $4,500. Oh, boo-hoo, help me. $4,500. Let me just stop right there. Both of my houses, if you added both of their mortgages up since I bought before COVID pandemic, if you added both of their mortgages up, it doesn't come out to $4,500, and that's including taxes and insurance. One of them is a little less than $1,900, and the other one's about $2,020 or $2,030. So even if you added up two houses, it doesn't come out to $4,500. Really? Oh, goodness. It's going to be a long night. Let's see. I'm paycheck to paycheck. I make $350 a year, but I have $88,000 in student loans, $170,000 in car loans, and a mortgage I pay $4,500 a month on. Do I need professional help? Yeah, I actually believe you do. Yes. By the end of 2022, I will have made $350,000 before taxes as the sole breadwinner and head of the household. Well, fuck, what do you do for a living? What are you, a brain surgeon or some shit? What are you, an engineer over at fucking SpaceX? Like, what do you do? This is a great starting point, and I'm very aware how blessed we are to be in this position. But I'm always looking ahead on how to improve. I currently have $88,000 left in student loans, which, because we voted for Joe Biden, he's supposed to knock off $10,000. And he could do it at the expense of the taxpayers. But don't worry about it. I make $350,000, so I'll be fine. I currently have $88,000 in student loans. Originally, it was close to $150,000, and very little credit card debt. Less than $2,000 with more than $25,000 available. So I have less than $2,000 in credit card debt, but I'm having a hard time paying because I make $350,000 a year. I have two auto loans totaling $170,000 for two electrical vehicles at 5% interest. So, okay, let me get this straight. You went over to Tesla. Now, in order to get to $170,000, the only way I see that happening is if you bought, say, a Tesla Model S and a Tesla Model X. You'd have to have both of those cars. Either that or you'd have two Model S's or two Model X's. I've recently been offered a $200,000 HELOC at 9%, so it looks like you're about to go deeper, a lot deeper into debt. Which would help me bring down some of my monthly payments and do some small home repairs and improvements. But I want to make the right moves. And I've also been presented with a few long-term real estate investment opportunities that are rental properties out of state and are currently bringing in 10 to 12% return on investment. But my biggest concern is that after taxes, 401 contributions, bills, savings, and mortgage, $4,500 on paper, I'm paycheck to paycheck. I'd like to use this HELOC to consolidate debt while also participating in some of these investment opportunities. I'm the first of my generation to own a home and the first to earn this much annually and don't want to mess this up. How specifically can a financial advisor help me? Let me tell you something. I want to be your financial advisor just so I could say, stop the fuck what you're doing. You're about to fuck yourself up. First of all, let's understand something. A HELOC, home equity line of credit. I've had clients that have fucked themselves so badly with HELOCs because they was just so determined that they had to have access to. Because first of all, a home equity line of credit is basically like you using your house as a credit card. It's a bad fucking idea. The only thing you should have a HELOC for is in the event that there is suddenly an extraordinarily catastrophic requirement that the house suddenly needs. And you've got this credit card basically attached to your home equity that allows you to access your home equity. But here's the problem, though. The interest rate is 9%. Now, granted, that 9% might be cheaper than, say, a regular credit card, like where you're paying 20 or 28% interest, well, up to 28% interest. However, the issue ultimately is a lot of people use their HELOCs very badly, and they've ended up either deep in debt or they've ended up in financial ruin, bankrupting themselves in many cases. A HELOC is supposed to be there. Let's say you suddenly have some kind of catastrophic roof issue. Like let's say your roof, I don't know, let's say a tree caves in your roof. Now, insurance for the most part should cover that. However, I've dealt in situations where insurance didn't cover certain things and it was in the fine print that they wouldn't. Like, for example, an oil spill. How about you got an oil boiler in your basement and the tank ruptures for whatever reason? Now, here you've got this big metal fucking oil tank, and all of a sudden this thing ruptures and spills out your last oil delivery, right? Your entire last oil delivery just disappears into thin air, just spills out, right? Goes under the house for the most part. So here's the thing. A lot of home insurances, they don't tell you this, but they consider oil to be a contaminant and they don't cover an oil spill. Most home insurances, they'll cover water damage or they have flood damage built in or they'll cover certain things, but in some cases, they won't cover a contaminant. So let's say you suddenly find yourself needing $5,000 or $6,000 in order to very quickly repair this oil tank and this, that, and other. All this stuff's not covered by insurance, and you just very quickly want to get this done. You need a new oil tank because you're going to need a temporary oil tank first, and then you need a new oil tank, and then you need the old tank taken out and removed. They're going to charge you damn near $5,000 for that. And the reality is some people may or may not have the instant access to $5,000, which you should if you're a homeowner. You should have at least $10,000 of cash. A lot of people are spending so much money they don't have it. That's the kind of thing a home equity line of credit is for. Or let's say that you suddenly find the need that you need a new floor. And this floor is basically going to be an investment into the house. Now, the home equity line of credit gives you a 9% interest on that, whatever it costs to do the floor. However, if you were to pay credit, a credit might cost you 20%. Now, what I will say is most of these businesses now, what they'll do is they'll give you 12 months or they'll give you 24 months 0% interest financing. Some of these businesses give you 60 months with 0% interest financing. And I mean, it's gotten so bad out there until some of these furniture stores will give you 60 months 0% interest financing. So you could buy a dining room set and they give you 60 months to pay the shit off. And when I say dining room set, I'm talking about like a glass wine cabinet and what is it called? A dining table. So the issue is, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to use credit, but I'm saying you're supposed to use it properly. A HELOC is supposed to be emergency use for the house. What the problem with a HELOC is a lot of people ultimately use it like it's a regular credit card. And what they'll do is they actually have a HELOC. It actually comes with a regular credit card where you can just swipe it. And here you are paying 9% interest on groceries that you bought 2 weeks ago. And it doesn't make any goddamn sense. So my bottom line is credit can be a good thing, but you need to pay off your balances almost immediately. So as soon as you use credit, you need to pay off the balance. But using a HELOC is especially bad unless you're using it specifically for the house and you have a plan. Now, they offer her a $200,000 HELOC. So they're basically saying that she has close to $200,000 worth of asset in that house's equity. A lot of people have spent up their equity out of their homes and they have no equity left. And they've done it using HELOCs. You know what some people did? Say you got the $200,000 credit card HELOC, right? Because I'll just call it a credit card. Some of these people go out and buy luxury cars with that shit. Like some of these people went out, bought Lincoln Navigators, Cadillac Escalades, boats. Some of these people went out, bought Corvettes. Some of these people went out and bought all types of flashy shit. Hellcats. Jeep SRTs. Not me, I'm just saying. Some people went out and bought flashy shit. Mercedes cars, Teslas. Because as far as they were concerned, if I've only got a 9% on this HELOC, that's great, right? It's not a great idea. So I already know the guy at MarketWatch is going to probably tell her, no, you shouldn't do that shit. But I'm just responding to it my way. A HELOC is supposed to be there for emergency use on the house. It's not supposed to be for vacations. It's not supposed to be for cars. It's not supposed to be for anything else but doing stuff in emergency cases for that house. Furthermore, you're supposed to be saving up cash. The cash that you're supposed to be saving up, that's supposed to be used for these emergency services. The HELOC, if you have one, is supposed to never be used. Only in extreme circumstances. Like, for example, if you suddenly have a medical emergency and you just don't have any other money, that's one thing. But guess what? There's a lot of people who went bankrupt from that shit too, using their HELOCs for medical emergencies because suddenly they came down with something and they just needed money fast. But the thing about it is, getting sick and dying in America is a very expensive proposition. All right, so let's keep going. He has an answer. It says, you have a few questions to tackle here, so let's get to it one by one. The first being the HELOC. Yes, HELOCs can be a good way to consolidate debt, but the rate you're being offered isn't favorable, as average HELOC rates are a little over 6%. I would ask if 9% is the best rate you can get because it appears a bit high, says Chris Chen, certified financial planner, blah, blah, blah. What's more, I would like you to consider the potential impact that our Fed policy and inflation are having on interest rates. As HELOCs usually have variable interest rates, and we're in an environment with rising interest rates, you may start at 9% and end up significantly higher. And I've had people who that's happened to. What's more, your student loans, car loans, and mortgage are all likely less than 9%, so it's not likely that consolidation via HELOC would save you money. You may want to start somewhere different, like a snowball method where you focus on your one loan, usually the smallest, and direct all of your resources to pay off that loan while maintaining payments on the others. This method could work to finish off your student loans and maybe one of your car loans to start with. As for those real estate investments, what do you really know about those returns? With regards to real estate investments, I assume that the 10% to 12% ROI you speak of is the income that you would be getting from the investment. If so, that's very high, and often when you get a return that is significantly higher than the norm, there's something else that makes the investment less desirable. Be careful. Certified planner Caleb Paddock says you may actually want to work with a money coach before you work with a financial advisor. Whereas a financial advisor assists with developing investment strategies and long-term financial plans, a money coach offers a more educational experience and focuses on shorter-term goals for money management. A money coach will help you with paying off all your debts, maximize your cash flow, and help you create systems and processes to direct your money proactively. While having a high income is great, there's a concept called Parkinson's Law, which essentially states that your spending will always rise to meet your income, no matter how high that income rises, explains Paddock. Working with a money coach will help you defeat Parkinson's Law, eliminate your debt, and then enable you to supercharge your investing and life planning with financial advisor. A financial advisor could help too. And Daniel Harrison, certified. Okay, so basically they're going through all these people who they're referring you to. Financial advisor would also help you take a long-term approach to your money and help you create a spending plan where you don't feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck on a $350,000 salary. Everyone has blind spots when it comes to their finances, so finding a competent financial partner can be invaluable. Okay, so that's that right there. Now, let's look back at her finances. It says, I'll have made $350,000 before taxes, a sole breadwinner, and head of household. First of all, this chick is already in the danger zone. Yeah, you're the sole breadwinner, but if you fall off, there's no backup, basically. So, but I'm still trying to understand, what car did this chick buy? Or, no, I'm sorry, she has 2 car loans. Like, what did you buy where you owe $170,000? She must have bought a Tesla plane She must have bought like a plain model Tesla right there or something. Either that or a Bentley or something. I don't know what she bought. But bottom line is, yeah, she earns enough to afford it, but she really does need to tackle these other bills. Now, first of all, if it was me, I would tell this chick, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to immediately pay off this credit card. We're going to pay off the $2,000 immediately. I want that paid off this week. This week. So we're going to get rid of this credit card. That's number one. And notice how it says I have more than 25,000 available. See, the problem is a lot of people, when they look at their credit, they, for whatever reason, they group their credit availability with their income. I don't know how this happens, but some people look at their credit cards and add them up and they're like, oh yeah, well, if I've got 50,000 in credit cards, that means that I have $50,000. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. But that happens. I don't know why it happens, but that happens. Says she has 88,000 left in student loans. Now, first of all, I want her to pay off the credit cards. I want to teach her my method every single fucking night. I want her to pay off those credit cards. If you're going to shop with your credit card and build points, fine. Every night I want it paid off. Next, you got 88,000 in student loans. The car loans are basically fixed interest, and they're also fixed payments for a certain amount of time. I say that what you need to do is attack these student loans. Once you get the student loans out of the way, you can drive Bentleys and this, that, and other. You can drive whatever you want. Get rid of the student loans. Instead, don't worry about the car loans. And this actually makes sense because after the 2,000 in credit card debt, the 88,000 is basically the next highest debt that she holds. After that comes the $170,000 for the two cars. But then again, we don't really know much about these two cars except for the fact that they have a 5% interest on them. As the person says, it's a bad idea to consolidate these type of loans because the problem is the car loans are only a 5%. This $2,000 that she owes, it wouldn't make sense to consolidate that because it's a small bill. You should be able to pay that off. I don't know what she has as a percent rate on the student loans because it doesn't seem to say that. But my thing is the only real estate investment that you should be doing is with money that you've saved. Because when you save the money, first of all, you need to really look for lower interest rates, especially if you're buying another mortgage to buy another house. But I say pay off the credit card, keep your credit card paid off, go after the student loan next. And then after the student loan, while you're doing the student loan, you're still paying simultaneously, you're paying down the two cars. I still don't understand what kind of car this chick got or what kind of cars she got. I'm thinking it has to be two of the high-priced Teslas. It has to be. Because the only other option for two cars like that adds up to $170,000 is like, she'd have to have like a Mercedes EQS and a Tesla Performance Model Y. Like anything, it just doesn't make sense. So you're not saving any money with your electric car. You're actually spending way more than you should be. But that's just that. So that's what I think. I mean, we've noticed that Americans have been spending a lot more money on credit cards. We've noticed that credit card debt has skyrocketed. So the thing about it is you got to be smart. And a lot of people don't seem to understand the traps, especially when it comes to investing. Because you got to remember, investing doesn't mean you get rich. Investing means there's a chance you get rich, but there's a chance you lose all your fucking money. There's also a chance that you might strike even. You might, lose, but you don't lose so much that you don't, balance out what you put in. But chances are, especially with an economy like this, chances are you're going to lose. And chances are, if you're lucky, you'll only lose a little. Now, prices on these properties are way higher than they would have been if you bought in 3 years ago. So if you had bought in back in 2017, 2018, oh yeah, the investment would have been worth it. Here's the problem though, you didn't. Not only that, you could have never known what was going to happen in 2020. So ultimately, I think the best solution, save your money. If something catastrophic happens like 2020,
and you know there's something that you either need or something you absolutely want. If you've saved your money, because you've saved your money, your brain is going to treat that money with more respect than it treats credit. And that's proven. That's a proven psychology aspect of the mind. Any money that we actually save and earned, we actually treat that money with more respect and we're more careful with it. When we use credit cards, we don't give a fuck. It's like if you go out with cash money, you only got $1,000, you're going to buy something that you wanted to buy with that $1,000. But if you have a credit card and you went to buy something for $1,000, but you see something else that's a little bit better for 1,200 or 1,500, you're gonna use the credit card. You're gonna get that thing because you figure, hey, I might as well, right? If I'm gonna spend 1,000, I might as well spend 1,500, and that's what happens. So you got to be so careful with that. So yeah, that's my little spiel about this story. I just wanted to get that out.
I gotta appreciate this guy's yard. I like this guy's fence. This guy's got a fence that looks like it's a electric fence at Jurassic Park. Like that shit's like an electric stockade or something. And look at that. Like look at this fucking backyard. This shit look crazy. It's like he's got like fucking like 3 or 4 gates. This shit look like something out of Splinter Cell. Like when you're trying to infiltrate a fucking spy house or some shit. I want my fence like that.
To be continued.